Hello, my name is Jake Deaton. I'm an admissions associate here at the George Washington University, and I'm here to talk to you about 10 things you need to know about finding your fit before you apply to college. Number 1, finding your fit means finding a college, university, or institution that fits all of your priorities. So this can look like a lot of different things for different students. Sometimes it will be about an academic fit. Sometimes it's going to be about a financial fit. Other times it might have more to do with your specific value system or the specific culture on campus. It's important to get as specific as you can about these things so you can find the college that is the best fit for you. Number 2, think about what is important to you while you are building your list. There is a huge list of things that you can think about when you are applying to a university. These can be everything from the physical location of a university, are you more interested in an urban or rural college environment? It can be the climate of the university. Personally, I didn't want to go somewhere too cold, so that was a very important aspect of my college admissions decision. This can be things like average class sizes. It can also encompass student culture. How important are athletics on campus? How big is Greek life? Are those things that you are interested in or not? What sort of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives are available on campus? And how is the campus actually helping students to facilitate building community? These are all important things to keep in mind when you're applying for college, and think about how important each one of them is to you individually. You don't want to apply to 50 colleges, so the more you can narrow this down now, the better. Number 3, start looking for schools. So there are a lot of ways you can do this when you want to start narrowing down this list. One of the best ways is to go have a conversation with your high school admissions counselor. These counselors know you well. They know what you're interested in. They know your academics. They're able to help suggest schools that you would be a good fit for. You should also feel empowered to research these schools yourselves. There are lots of online opportunities for you to look at schools, kind of narrow them down based on your interests, based on their academic programs, based on your academic performance. So these would be places like College Board, Common App, Naviance. A lot of these softwares have specific filters that will allow you to kind of include what you're looking to get out of these universities, and then it will suggest universities that you might want to research more. Number 4, delve deeper and learn more about each school. So this is when you say, okay, I sort of know what I'm looking for. I want to go to, an urban campus environment. And it's important to me that there is, a political science program. Maybe I'm just describing GW. But this is when you start to actually find schools that meet your needs and research them a little bit more specifically. So this is when you're going to log into those college admissions websites. You're going to find out information about specific academic programming, about campus life. You're going to utilize things like virtual visits, on-campus visits. You might even reach out to an admissions office to ask if you can talk to a current student. Typically, current students definitely know the campus environment best, so I highly suggest this. And this is where you're going to even further narrow down this list, kind of make your final list for schools that you really want to submit applications to. Number 5, stay organized while building your list. This process can get very complicated and confusing very quickly if you are not organized. So many students apply to multiple institutions. Some of these institutions are going to have different requirements, different deadlines. Some of them are going to have specific scholarship application requirements. At some of these institutions, you might apply to something like a university honors program or some other special academic environment at the university. So this is where you need to start keeping track of what you need to submit and when you need to submit it. A lot of students will do this by creating a spreadsheet where they can keep track of all of this important information. Some students prefer to do it by hand, with pencil and paper. Whatever you do, you need to make sure that you have a document that is accessible to you and a document that you are going to update and keep up with, because you don't want to find yourself in a scenario where you missed out on something you were really interested in because you missed a deadline or didn't submit the right document. So it's very important to stay organized. Number 6, remember to decipher statistics while building your list. One of the nice things about college admissions is that we all love to send out these statistics about the classes we just admitted. Oftentimes, that's going to include academic data about the pool of students who were actually accepted. So this is going to include things like average GPAs, average test scores for students who chose to submit them, information about things like class rigor. You can use all of this to your advantage. You can use this data to find schools that we consider to be good fits. These are going to be schools that you are slightly above maybe the average academic requirements or the average profile of the academics for a student who was admitted. You can also find schools that we would consider target schools. These would be schools where you are falling around that 50% mark. You're kind of right in the middle of their averages. And then you can also identify schools that we would consider possible schools. You might be a little bit under the average academics at some of these schools, but you still have a strong interest in them and you want to apply. The good news is most schools use a system called holistic review, which means we're never just going to be looking at your academics. We're going to look at those other things, like extracurriculars. We're going to look at your essays. However, this is really valuable information to have, and you can sort of build your expectations and determine which schools are going to be valuable pursuits for you based on some of this data that we release. Number 7, sample the college experience with virtual visits. Virtual visits are a fantastic resource to find out really amazing information about colleges and universities without having to commit to actually being on their campus. A lot of these have become a lot more robust in the last few years. You can actually do virtual tours of a lot of campuses, kind of see what it looks like, go down the street, see what different academic buildings look like, what different residence halls look like. You can find out really specific information about academic programs, about campus life, student organizations. So this is a fantastic resource for a student who might not be able to visit a certain college campus because of distance or you can't get time off school, but you still want to get this really valuable and helpful information in order to help you make a decision about whether or not you want to apply. You can also attend virtual information sessions. There are often live virtual panels where you can actually talk to current students and ask questions. So these tend to be a really amazing resource for students to help make a decision about whether or not you actually want to apply to some of these schools. Number 8, sample the college experience with on-campus offerings. As amazing as virtual visits are, if you have the opportunity to visit a campus in person, I highly suggest doing so. This is when you're actually going to see what it's like to be a student on campus. You'll get face-to-face interaction with other current students. You could, attend an in-person information session. Lots of universities utilize sort of in-person programming, so they may have open houses or fly-in events. And this is a really great opportunity to see if this university is going to be a great fit for you. For some universities, their location is a very big draw, GW being one such university. So you can actually spend time in the cities these universities are based in or the towns and see if that area vibes with you. So it's a really great way to come and kind of do, a trial run of what it might actually be like to live in this area and to see what sort of students you're actually going to be face-to-face with when you become a student at these universities. Number 9, stay connected to schools to get even more information. So in our modern era, a lot of these universities have really amazing social media presence. We're on tons of different apps, everything from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram to even TikTok. And these are great ways to stay up to date with what life is like at the university, but also with things like admissions deadlines, information about college admissions. And it's a very great way to make sure you're not missing anything, but also to sort of get acquainted with what it might be like to be a student. You can see various traditions on campus. Sometimes they do student takeovers where students will take over the Instagram story for a day and post what it's actually like to study at a specific college or university. So I highly recommend utilizing this content. This is also a terrific opportunity to reach out to your specific admissions counselor. Admissions counselors are often assigned recruitment territories, so that could be, a state or maybe a geographic region, and you can reach out to the admissions counselor who actually covers where you live in order to ask them questions. Some schools track demonstrated interest, so this could even help out your application possibly. So I highly suggest getting in touch with those people. And number 10. Utilize outside resources. So earlier in the presentation, we talked a little bit about resources like College Board, Common App, Score, Naviance. All of those have great information about applying to college, helping you narrow down what sort of colleges you might be interested in. However, this is also a great time to tap your friends and family. Talk to them about their college admissions experience. Figure out what worked for them, what didn't work for them. Also feel empowered to get in touch with those current students. Ask them the specific nitty-gritty questions that you really have about what it's like to be a college student at this particular institution. This is also when you can reach out to your counselor at high school, the counselor at the university you're applying to. Really try to use as many resources as you can to paint yourself the clearest picture that you can of the universities you're applying to. I know this was a lot of information, and we are always happy to take questions. We have a terrific student staff who is committed to answering any sort of questions you have, helping you have any sort of clarification about deadlines, materials you need to submit, and you can reach out to us on our phone number, which is 202-994-6040, or at our email account, which is gwadm@gwu.edu. Thank you. Have a great day.